Hey, good afternoon. How's everybody doing? Brand and Media Strategies, session 12, part B, the big project. Let's set this to student preview so you don't have to see my mess. It's not really that messy. But, all right, moving on. All right, so we are in phase 2. We're going to start phase 2, but let's talk about everything. First off, make sure you do your attendance. It is here. We hit continue. What is a swatch? It's a watch. I think I made that joke to you guys before. Continue. It's a sample of color. Man, these are easy. Do it. Take care of it. Get an A. Look them up. I feel like somebody got a C minus. This is a different class. I was like, you can look these up. Double check on these. I talked about that. On Tuesday, midweek session review, preview, review. You guys are pretty good at using that when need be. We have their final exploring media. One, getting down to the nitty gritty on the every designer needs to know. These are fun though. I think these like 1 hour, like 1 hour or less designs really kind of help you think, help you like, knock things out. So, but then we come into today. First is, this one. I get to talk about this. Write about something you found interesting in this section. You can relate, blah, blah, 100 words. In the book. So there's the cases, and there's 1 through 17. There's 18 through something else, and then 3. So there's 3 sections left. And when I say cases 1 through 17, there's at the end of the book, there's like I said, what's 17 times 3? 40 some. No, I don't know. Oh my God. 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Around that. So I divided into 3. Just look through those. Pick 2 of those logo development things that you like. And this is a great way to look at that. We're in the perfect section to start this when we're working on these logos. So that's what I mean when I say cases 1 through 17. There's 40 some. I'm sorry I don't have the exact number. But just take a look at the first 17. Pick one that you like. Which ones do you like? Tell me about it. Look at that development. Like, this is what you're in, that logo development. This is what you do. Why do people change it? How do they update it? What are the trends? We got to update the trends. We're still using a 1917 logo, all that kind of stuff. So that's what that's about. All right. We know what's next. I'm going to show you mine in a little bit different in a minute. You know what to do. So this is the exact duplicate that we did for the last project. You created 3 logos. I'm going to show you my 3 logos. Then you're going to show me them, and I'm going to hopefully direct you in a way. If they're 3 fantastic logos, I'll say pick the one you want. If it's 2, 1, and I'll help you navigate which way we should go with this and little tweaks you should make. Then I want the 5 logo variations. That's we take the 1 logo and we look at it in different lights. So let's go back here. I created this 1 logo, right? I'm going to zoom in and everything. We can really take a look at it. Go to my hand, pan. And I created this logo. And I thought, okay, what can I do to change this? Simple change. I'm going to change this from black to brown to look like chocolate sauce, and then add a little at the bottom. It's running all over the place. All right. Nothing really changed. Just the color and a little added that. It changes, it adds it just a little something else. This next one, I took this logo and I made the Sunday streets drippy, and I added a little drop shadow behind that. I have no idea why I did that. This looks awful, and this looks awful. But what this was a direction that led to the final direction, but I needed to get something out of my head. Like, this wasn't working for me, but I knew there was something there. And so I think I needed to get this one done and out of my head. So it's just a variation, and it's not much different. Like, I just added that, but it's giving that like, hey, what if we do this? What if we do this? What if we do this? Then I took this first one and simply took this shape, duplicated it to make custard clouds and added a rainbow. It's the same design, right? And then the final one is I sat down and I thought about it. Like this was the stepping stone to this one. And where I figured out, oh, this is how I want the letters to look. Really, like this was that weird, funky, and I wasn't quite getting it, but I got it. And then the rainbow, like, oh, okay, the blue, and it wasn't working. I wanted brighter, weirder colors, and I wanted a thick outline around it. So some of this ends up being, you start to develop a personal preference, a personal style. You don't necessarily, but I had this question many years ago, and a student was like, I want to work on my style. How do I do it? And I was like, you don't. It just starts to come out. You recognize what you like. You recognize what you want to do. And when you start on something, I don't want to say you start with the same idea every time, but a lot of the times you tend to just kind of like, I like to do this and I like this style. And so like you go to it, but then over time, it's like a band. You evolve a little bit, you change a little bit, you adjust a little bit, and you can sort of develop a style, which becomes difficult in kind of the graphic design world is when you're always telling, if you have a brand and you have to stick to that brand, but they're looking for you, then we want you to do the job, but we want it with your little style, your little in it. So, and that's what still works. So then I did this. So then I took each one of these and I have it on a white background and a black background, white background, black background. And what are you going to do to make sure that no matter who uses your logo for this product promotion, because who knows, you may develop the logo and then it's got to go here, it's got to go there. They want to put it in the magazine, they want to put it in a newspaper. We need that logo. And so you send them, here's the white version, here's the black version. And then they can know, oh, all I do is plop it on. Here, I plop it on. Here, it's got a white border on it instead of the black, an extra white border. That's what we're talking about. What are we doing? What's see-through? Maybe what's not see-through? Are you filling all the parts that need to be filled? So you have to think about this every time you create a logo. What's it going to look like on a different background? We're so used to just doing the white background. Oh, because that's how we design. I should create an assignment where you design the logo first on black. A lot of that then deals with like, oh, well, we just reverse everything. And I talked about that, in one of the other ones, like, oh, I just take my logo and reverse it. And you're like, oh, no, you don't just reverse it. Like, especially if imagery, you have to like work around it. What do you want to stick out? Here, it's not the, this is just like black on black on black. This is getting better. This without, the blue and then the pure white just like makes it pop, even though it's on black and this is black. I could easily just change that to brown too. I didn't want to introduce another color, but that probably maybe even would have been better if I took this black, made that brown. But I think the big one was this one, is I wanted a black outline and not a brown outline. I don't know. I could have taken a really rich brown. Maybe that's what I should have done. But I think no matter what, I felt like it was adding another color, and I didn't want to add 700 colors to the logo. It makes it harder and harder to use the more colors we add. So our goal for this next week is to take those 3 logos that we have created for tonight. We're going to take the best one. We're going to make our variations on it and put on black and white. Again, here's an oldie. I'm going to show this real quick. Variations. What do you mean by variations? Variation. It's just on this. Sorry, I stalled out when I couldn't find the magnifying glass. And the big one is this starts, right? Majol. Okay, color, 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 color. So these are all just color variations of the same logo. Anybody can do that. Anybody can take your logo and change the colors. But what I did on this one is the variations is how did I set it up? Where did I put my word? It's the same word. It's kind of the same style, but I'm just making sure that what I have in the end is really what I want in the end. And it's just moving stuff around. Look at this. The weird one is this is the one I ended up using, which was kind of the final design, right? It's the last thing I came up with was the one that fit what I wanted to do. And that's why we do variations. We want to guarantee, even to ourselves, that there's nothing more creative left to do. So that's why we work on it like we do. So let's check out. I thought I had this open. Give me 1 second. Oh, I think my InDesign file is open. File. 1 moment, please. All I'm doing is exporting my PDF. Oh, it's crabbing at me too. All right, here it is. Oh man, I gotta fix this background. I thought I did a better job. No, that's really gonna bug me. But it's easy because I did it in InDesign. All I have to do is adjust the background by a couple clicks. That gap, I want them all touching. All right, brand and media strategy, Project C, product, promotional sale. That's my intro. Page 2, brand and media strategies, Project C, phase 1, research and visual concepts. You like what I did there? Boop, boop, boop. And each one of these is about, Dr. Woods, about Ethique, and Caroline Castile. Those are the ones I found online. And where I got this information? Right from their website. And then these are their logos. And look, I want everybody to make sure, no matter how you place your logo, the logo shouldn't be touching the edge of anything, right? Logos don't touch the edge. Well, the JPEG I got touches the edge. Look, I just added a ton of white around it. It's floating in there. So I don't want to see any logos that are touching edges. And then we go into Visual Concept 1. This is type style logo. I'm just calling it a type style logo. I just typed everything out, played around with it. I did this, I did this. It works. It's not great. It's plain. It's using the wrong font. A lot could be done with this, but if somebody I want to say it's not great, but it's not bad, right? Got all the information in there. It's clean, it's clear, it's understandable. What I would do is I would like to add some, little earthy tones to it. Color, you can see that the H and the D don't line up. Again, this is a mock-up. You don't want to spend forever on it, but enough to get it clear enough that the client can be like, okay, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Be like, okay, I'm going to change the font and everything. Make sure we line it up again. And I wanted to add some subtle elements nodding to Earth Day and soap without making it too busy. Well, I can look at the D. I can add a little leaf here or there. Stuff like that. All stuff that can happen in the next round. Here's another one. I sort of hated this one. It came about, Photoshop. I think we were talking about this on Tuesday, and I started doing some stuff, and I was bringing that logo, and I started making the circles, and I was doing the bubbles, and I did it, and I didn't do it very good, but I kept coming back to it. Oh, and then this is Electric Dance Carnival. EDC is in Las Vegas. But there was something here and it wasn't letting me go. And so I went with it. And I just kind of thought about it a little bit more. And I was like, this isn't bad. And it needs to be readjusted. there's a lot of me like going like, it's kind of like Irishy. I don't want to like do close to Irish Spring. And then it's not drawn in the correct colors. As I change colors to kind of denote different layers and different style, like thoughts. And then this scribble at the bottom is that 25% off all Dr. Bronner's products. Like that's an indication. That's going to circle around the bottom, and then their logo is up at the top. I could switch, add that, or I could maybe add the logo in the middle, but it'd be fairly small. But guess what? I still have that time to play, right? I still can play around. And there's something about this one. Like I wish I didn't like it so much, but I may go with it, because then there's this one, which is really fun, but I'm a little gun shy on it. And the reason being is this, getting to this point, I don't know why. Like this, I was doing this the night before and not being able to figure out the typography, or I maybe even did this. No, I did it the night before. It really pushed me, like it really, really pushed me. And then I'm like, okay, I think I can do this. And then it's custom letters again, custom soap. I have to look at how soap bubbles interact with each other. And then so it's like big bubbles. I need to rearrange these so we can get that logo bigger. And then celebration, maybe I got to pick that because it needs to be condensed. And then I didn't want, this like, don't, little variation there needs to happen. And then of course the bottom, which is the foam itself, which would be 25% off all Dr. Bronner soaps. Who knows? I want to think about it. I definitely don't want to go to this direction. I used to do this a lot. And now, because of the digital art tools that are available, I can do more than I used to. I know they've been around for years, right? But they're here, and we have them in the studio, and I have them at home now. And I tend to just enjoy it more. It allows me to know that if I'm going to do something, I can do it my way. And I think I used to do a lot more of this style work, because translating the sketch and getting it into a vector format, which is what the logo should be in, getting it into the vector format from a drawing was much harder. There's a lot of the pen tool. Your drawing had to be perfect, but now with like this style, I drew this straight into vector, and I was able to draw it with a stylus and not have to worry about like click and drag, and like figuring out how to get that shape. I could just draw it, erase it, draw it, erase, and it became much more fluid. But I don't know why. My mind is like, there's something mesmerizing about this one. Maybe I can introduce, still fun ways, the font. I think that E, because the E looks like the reflection, and make that Y work with that. And I think that's really where I'm going with that one. This one might be a little bit much. So I think in the end, I would go with that. So next up, I'll probably take this one, and then I got to start working on my 5 variations, getting it cleaned up, tightened, 5 variations, and then black and white, so I know what's going on. How is it going to look? What color I'm going to use? Like with the background, how is it going to fill? All that kind of stuff. So, because right now it's just a drawing, and there's no solids. Everything's just sticks and lines, and nothing's set up right. So there you go. Rinse and repeat, eh? But this is how we learn. And this is, everybody goes through a process, and you figure out, when you develop this for clients, you develop this for your employer, you develop this, there is stagings of this. It's never just, okay, I take back never just, extremely rarely that it is just like, oh, just give me one logo and I'm done. Yeah. So there you go. So please let me know if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. Of course, I've included the guidelines, the logos, and product shots, and that has everything in it, including the bars of soap. And I think that is it. All right. Well, there you go. Let me know if you have questions, comments, concerns. Let me know how else I can help out. And I look forward to seeing all of your wonderful logos tomorrow. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.